suppresses your immune system, it may lower your ability to fight infections. Serious, sometimes fatal events, including infections, tuberculosis, lymphoma, other cancers, and nervous system and blood disorders have occurred.
Alright, both webcams have failed. I have to start over from where I was about 5 or 10 minutes ago. Both web cameras failed pretty close to one another. That's too bad.
He's so proud he shared it with the world on YouTube. It's a medical mystery. Jason is clearly a belching machine, and we had to see if this is true. So Jason is actually joining us from Canada right now on the phone. And just so everyone understands, there's a difference between a belch and passing quote-unquote gas from down below. So the way Jason's able to do this is you're actually swallowing in air. So a belch is really releasing air that you're swallowing in, whereas farting is actually gas that's been produced by bacteria in your gut as it eats up the food that you didn't digest. That's why you can't necessarily fart on command unless you have a way of sucking air in. And there are people who can suck air in and then push it back out. But Jason has a remarkable ability of pulling air into his stomach and then exerting it out.
I've actually got something I can do for you. I can do your theme song.
Can you really?
Yeah.
Well, this song, give us the news, Jason.
Doctor, give me the news.
He likes to. Jason, I have one word for you. Sexy. That is sexy. Is Jason single? Jason, are you single?
I am, yeah.
Really? Jason, thanks so much for being with us. And we have more embarrassing questions, including the bathroom problem no one wants to talk about right after this. Can you do it?
Yeast infections can be very common, but on today's No Need to Worry by our friends at CVS Pharmacy, I'll explain how to help reduce your risk of getting a yeast infection. Yeast is a fungus that lives in the vagina, but usually in small numbers. A yeast infection happens when you have too many yeast cells. It can cause itching, soreness, and sometimes pain or burning when you urinate or have sex. Some women also have a thick white discharge. These symptoms are more likely to occur during the week before your period. If you've had a yeast infection before and recognize the symptoms, you can treat yourself at home with an over-the-counter medication. But if this is the first time you're experiencing these symptoms, you should call your doctor, as other more serious conditions have similar symptoms. You can help prevent a yeast infection by keeping the area dry, wearing cotton, not nylon underwear, and avoid tight-fitting pants. Also, be sure to change out of a wet bathing suit right away and avoid using douches. Be sure to consult your doctor with any questions or concerns about your health.
Closed captioning provided by
Western Sky can put up to $5,000 in your checking account by tomorrow. So get off the payday treadmill.
Area code 323 the Docs. That's 323 the Docs for show tickets. Come on down. So we have time for one more embarrassing problem today. Let's have a look. Anyone ever seen that? You've eaten corn on the cob, and of course, no, it should not. You should not eat the whole thing like that. You're supposed to chew the thing before you swallow. But you eat it, and 24 hours later, you look, and like, oh my goodness, what's going on down there? It looks like corn on the cob still. And there's one word as to why corn comes out in your poop: cellulose. So it's a polysaccharide, which is a fancy word for a sugar that human digestive systems can't break down. You know another word for that, cellulose? Fiber, also known as roughage. These foods all contain some of the cellulose, which is very common in plants, that, interestingly, other animals have a unique ability with bacteria in their guts. For instance, if you've ever seen cows eating grass, they actually can digest this. What's cool about cellulose is it's calorie-free. And that's okay. It acts as a natural, basically, fiber that goes through your system and cleans out your gut. So don't be embarrassed when there's corn in your stool. But if you don't like the entire kernel, the one thing you can do is you have to mechanically break it down in your mouth. If you chew it well enough, you're still going to have, the cellulose is still going to go through undigested, but it'll be broken up, so you won't see it. Which, it's kind of fun to see, I think. I want to give a thanks to all of our guests today, including Coco. If you want a complete list of all of today's embarrassing problem solutions, just go to thedoctorstv.com. And so often, we do talk about embarrassing problems on the show. We get asked all the time how we discuss these with you. Well, there's one reason. We all suffer from embarrassing body problems, and we suffer in silence. So when you have an embarrassing body problem, talk about it. And I cannot say this more sincerely. Discuss it with your doctor, with a friend, with your parents, with your spouse. Because without discussing it, you won't figure out, number one, is there a problem with it, or is it normal? So don't be embarrassed to talk about embarrassing body problems as your doctor's orders. Thanks for being with us.
Tonight at 6.
It is outrageous.
Embarrassing body problems are often suffered with in silence. That's the title for the song. Using guitar chords C# minor and F#7. Created by Paul Beck and Paul Abel, song February 21st, 2012. Embarrassing body problems are often suffered through in silence, in silence. Embarrassing body problems, have they ever happened to you? Are often suffered through in silence, in silence. Well, how are you gonna ever solve the problem? You should talk to your doctor or someone about them. Otherwise you'll never find a way to solve them, and you'll have to just keep experiencing and suffering them in silence. Find a way, find a way, find a way to talk to them. Find a way, find a way, find a way to talk to somebody, so you don't have to continue suffering in silence, in silence.